Hello, this is Melissa, your free range psychic. It is the 14th of July, 2025, my 35th live. Although for you guys who haven't watched me before, I have a lot of videos uh, that I made over the years. But I didn't start going live until after the Orange Menace took power, and then I just decided to use this format. I got a ton of past lives, a it's a ton of videos on everything, everybody. Uh, hey Jackie, hey Teresa, thank you. Yeah, hit the like, please. Hey Samantha, good afternoon, Idaho. You guys, what's the weather like where you are? It's very hot here. I shouldn't complain because we all want summer to come, and it just is very hot. It's like in the high 80s and humid. Hey Marby. So another interesting week. At least we didn't bomb Iran last week. That's an improvement. Um, what do you guys want me to talk about today? In my mind, what's swirling around is all the Epstein stuff. And on my channel, I did a couple videos. I did one of Epstein, um, maybe two, but one after his demise, Rikers. Um, and I think before that one on Epstein's Island. But I feel so familiar with that stuff that right now they're just trying to gaslight us. No list. He's a business person. I mean, Epstein wasn't, may he rest in peace or whatever. A business person. Of course, you're going to have a client list if you're, uh, um, offering a certain uh, services to certain people, and there's a transaction involved of some kind, or at least wanting to keep. Of course, there's going to be a list. The idea that there wouldn't be a list. Plus, I found the list. I remember seeing the list with a lot of redacted names when they went to his, not even Epstein's Island, but before that, when they went into his the house he was given in New York. There's a lot of stuff. We're all talking about it. I hate this gaslighting by the media, as if you can delete everything up till now and then just fill it in with whatever you want. Plus, you can still Google it. Don't use Grok though, unless you want to come up with some Nazi stuff. Um, hey Stephanie, hey George. Let me look back to see who's popped up here. Oh, sorry. Um, Kay, hi Carolyn. Juanita, hey, hi. Arlene, Teresa. Um, does anybody else? Oh, everybody's telling me what the weather is like here. 93 and sunny, coolest summer we've had in years. Wow. um, this isn't the hottest summer we've ever had. It hasn't gotten to 90, or, occasionally. I live in southeastern Michigan. It might get, near the hundreds or something. But I think the humidity makes it feel um, really hot. Hey, Patricia, beautiful Seattle. I've been there just once, and it was amazing. Um, so yeah, Florida, I don't think I could handle Florida weather, although I mean it's beautiful all year round, right? Um, but just being from the north east, it would be difficult for me, I think. Um, hey, George. Oh, okay, I'll put your comment here. Will Trump leave from health issues or treasonous takedown? Good question. It is like watching, and I say this, but I really shouldn't, because I didn't watch the Game of Thrones. But it isn't like the Game of Thrones, what we're watching right now. It's craziness. Of course, how else could it be any other way? Um, Trump Mach 2. Of course, it's gonna be like this. Let's see. Will Trump leave for health issues or treasonous takedown? They're still telling me the military is going to take him out of, not out, but in that way, I mean, out of office because the truth about the election is going to come out. And even though that seems crazy and like hard to even believe even now, if you look at the speed of the war between Leon and the felon, it's just going to continue to get heat up. I mentioned this on the last live because they're both malignant narcissists. They both have narcissistic rage, and Leon thinks he got, and he knows. I'm not saying thinks. He knows he got um, uh, the election. He knows that he did that. Without him, who would have flipped the tallies of the votes? He did that. So I asked the guys, sorry, just to confirm what I'm thinking. Yeah, yeah, because I've had the conversation with them before about uh, Leon. He really wants everybody to know, just like that little boy, X, was Elon's, um, uh, inner child wanting to tell the world that he stole the election because the little boy said to everybody that happened. Um, but what I see, I think the straw that breaks the camel's back is going to be potentially something like Leon finding out that his contracts, like for the internet and satellites, and are going to go to other people like Bezos, who are already ready to go, and that's going to be it, I think. And then he'll just come out with it. Um, Ooh, Marvin, 91 in Texas. That sounds like normal Texas temp, though, isn't it? Um, yeah, Teresa, I agree with you. And the way the guys are continuing, the way that Leon's gonna let the world know, like the military is gonna have to respond because it's gonna be so clear. He's gonna just he knows where the skeletons are buried. He knows exactly what happened. And he can prove it. He's got proof of it. The proof was not. He did not destroy the proof of the swapping out of or flipping of the election tallies. He's got it all, and he got it on a thumb drive. That's what the guys are saying. He's like, here you go. Hi Melissa. I long for the outing of that awful man. Oh yeah, all of these cabinet members. They're his Fox News hosts who are now cabinet members. Everything. It's like The Apprentice or something. This is a TV show. This is a very like cheap version of a TV show about, or reality show, I should say, about the presidency. And for the felon says central casting, and Fox is central casting, and he perceives them as loyal. It's not just loyal to him. Um, and entertainment purposes only. This is just me talking with my guides and my own thoughts about the matter. I'm just a psychic. What do I know? That's my tagline. But it's you can't forget Putin. Putin, Fox, felon. Because everybody has to be loyal to the felon, but really after, everybody has to be loyal to Putin, because Putin and I believe that Laura Loomer is like the go-between, kind of like Grandpa, right? But she's right there in the felon's ear. It's not that she. I don't believe this. I could be wrong. Hey, Daniel. No worries. You're not that late. It's only been. I almost started at 3. Um, Laura Loomer, yeah, she's there to implement what Putin wants, just like Hegseth is there to implement what Putin wants. That's why, uh, um, the things that ended up happening under the felon's name seem so crazy and out of the norm, like bombing Iran. But Putin and Iran both, I believe, were involved in getting that to happen, so that it actually served a purpose, because I believe that Iran. Oh, Ivy, no worries. It's all right. I'm glad you're here. Um, it speeds. I believe that it was a way to speed up Iran's ability to have nuclear weapons. Because nothing really. What they damaged, we damaged some buildings. Everybody knew what was happening before anything happened. There, the nuclear material had been taken out of those warehouses, and then when Iran bombed the U.S. bases, Trump himself already said that we were warned, so there were no casualties. It's like, what the hell was that? God, if we could just not like be controlled by this kind of ADD media. And no offense to anybody with attention deficit disorder, it's like a pretty ubiquitous problem that people have. But I'm just saying that, boom, this happens, and that's a huge deal, and we should be talking about that still and getting to the bottom of it. But then another thing happens, and the way that we're being played is distraction. And I did ask my guides about, hey, Lori, um, uh, about whether this is this really like this whole Epstein thing, is this like wagging the dog again? Is this just something to distract us, or is this really a war between Leon and the felon? But my guides say actually it is a war between Leon and the felon. But the media is jumping on it because it's drawing viewers in. It's clickbait, and it seems like it's so exciting. Like his diehard MAGA fans turning against him. But then you see, the authoritarian, tyrannical nature of the administration, who are now shutting down people like Charlie Kirk, apparently, what I've been seeing, who have been questioning the DOJ and Bongino and Bondi. But for some reason, yeah, Laura Loomer. You guys tell me, why does Laura Loomer hate Bondi? She really hates Bondi. She wants Bondi out of there. Um, but you know, how much is it Laura Loomer? How much is it Putin? Putin wants, I believe, a cast of characters he really can control, who report directly to him, don't even have to go through the felon. And if he could, he'd have one of his puppets, even Trump or the felon's obviously one of his puppets, but like even somebody else, in his place that could be more, um, you know, like Putin in terms of like more extreme and supporting Putin and sending Putin weapons and then giving him troops like North Korea. He wants more control, is I guess what I'm trying to say. Um, so so Daniel, you asked me, does Epstein want his client list revealed, and will it be eventually? You mean Epstein or Leon, or who did Epstein want his client list revealed? Unless he maybe he's still alive. I don't know about that though. Um, I did he. Do you mean did he want it revealed? I think for Epstein, his client list and all of that stuff was compromised, and I believe that's what he was in the business of doing. Was was compromised. And he had stuff on everybody that was important, or he was trying to get it. And then that gave him agency, that gave him power. And I believe that he was working for Putin, actually. People say he was working for the Mossad. Maybe he was, working for a lot of different secrets or, a lot of different countries. But I do believe that he was directly working with Putin because, you know, that's how Putin works, right? Through compromise. Epstein grave revenge. Oh, I see. You're asking me as a spirit. Now I can ask that question. I didn't realize that you're asking that. Um, so, Lori, did I say good afternoon to you? If I didn't, I'm sorry. I would say good afternoon now, but I might have, but I don't remember. Um, Where is that begs the question, like, where is Epstein right now? Where is his spirit? Is he available? Is he out and about? Is he in limbo? Did he ascend? Did he go or descend? What happened to you, Epstein? So I need to ask that question, I think. They said that Epstein is kind of like in limbo, and he does haunt uh, his island and all the places he lived in. He does haunt the White House. And does he want the list revealed? He is he is trying to get justice. Oh, no, this is okay. Please, big grain of salt on this one, because of the murder allegedly in italics or whatever or quotes, um, because he's saying that he was done away with. By that administration. And remember, it was the Felons administration. As much as they love to be like say it's a Democrat thing, no, not at all, not at all. And Putin wanted him done away with because he was too dangerous. He was using that, not just the list, but all. I mean, he had so much data uh, on people, so many videos and of whatever they, mainly sexual, um, with allegedly with the young girls or boys, depending on, preference. And he was like this is what the guys are saying. Let me know what you think. He was like an independent business person. He didn't work for Putin or anybody else, but he had information. He was like a salesperson, and is transactional. And but he didn't give he wasn't just like an asset for Putin, that he was. I have this information that I'm going to give you because you wanted it. He gathered things, and he had what he thought was important to various people, and then he would be transactional for a sum of money for it. I mean, he had a lot of money. How did he get all the money? I know he's given that house for free. Why was he given that house for free? Um, there's a lot going on behind the scenes here that's duplicitous, that could get people in a whole lot of trouble. And so no wonder, people are freaking out right now. And there are people who do have the list. I heard Rosie O'Donnell has the list. And the guides say she does. She's in Ireland right now, I guess. But she's not the only one. And I saw somewhere that the list was that the real list doesn't exist, but the guys say no, the real list exists. Don't even. There's so many copies. So many different people have this information. You would be shocked at how much of this is out there. And it's not all out there. Not it's not all found yet. There are troves of it that he hid, or other people hid for him. And maybe um, Ghislaine knows I always forget how to pronounce her name. Is it Je or G? Oh, I'll say Ghislaine. Um, but she, she's in very precarious position because she does know where a lot of that stuff is, and then she was part and parcel of it, right? She was there um, in person for it. And of course, now her lawyers are wanting new trial because they're saying the list doesn't exist. But why is she, in prison? It's ridiculous. Um, hey, Selma. The Republicans lost 40 seats in 2018. Will the Dems pick up as many in 2026? Yeah, some pick up a huge number of seats. And I know we're all worried, including me, that about free and fair elections, but the guides say there will be free and fair elections. They won't be able to stop that. We will have those elections and the Dems will rule. Um, thank you, Artistic World. Ghislaine Maxwell's father worked as a spy for Russia, Israel, and the British M16. Yeah, and his death was mysterious. He fell off a boat, right? So once you get up into that that stratosphere, it's very dangerous up there. And Ghislaine might be safer to stay in prison, but she wants out of there, according to the guides. And she's angry. She thinks it's just so hypocritical in her mind, um, that all these people that were involved in those encounters with those, human trafficking, I should say, are out there living, their lives, and she's the one stuck in prison, and she's pissed off. So, but she has the goods for sure. She knows what. If there was one person that Epstein would have trusted with, the location and all the other important information about all of that stuff, that compromising material, she knows. She knows who. She damn well knows who's on that list. Um, Rabia, hey, I want to know the election truth alliance sent the PA's Secretary of State their info, and PA Secretary of State did not want to take a meeting with them. Why? Oh, I didn't know about that. I can ask the guys because it did show. Um, it did show that the election was stolen. They didn't want to deal with it, but it will be taken up. We will see it. We'll see their information. Um, so so painful to watch this coup continue, as I said last time. And we are living under a Russian coup. And, in alliance with the libertarians and the evangelical Christians, the far right wing Republicans who want to destroy the government. They're so like excited. This is what they wanted to do, but they're not living in the real world. They think this can work. That's not going to work. That's what the guides say. 2025 is, dead in the water. Whatever they try to do. Hey, Sue. Hey, Lori. Yeah, it feels like it forever. That's for sure. Yes, it does. I just want it to stop. So tired of it. Um, so see what else. Want to say anything more about Epstein? They just say we know. Look, we know what we all know. We all saw. We all investigated, or I don't know if we all investigated, but a lot of us, read and researched, and just don't fall for the gaslighting. Um, will Putin reveal dirt on Felon 45 because of his tough talk on Russia? That's a good question. Let's see. Well, that's a game. Let's another gaslighting. 45 is, you think 45 is like Putin's toy, Putin's puppet, Putin's possession, Putin's asset. So anything that Felon 45 does is just a front. It's always agreed upon in advance. Or, yeah, with Putin. He would never do anything against Booty. He's not strong enough. So there are political reasons why it's like, look over there, or don't look too closely, because the truth is that, um, according to my guides, that the felon is going to do whatever Putin wants him to do. But he has to look a certain way. He has to have a certain appearance to the world, it's a bluff. And didn't he say that, he was going to push the tariffs or the sanctions 50 days into the future? No, it's a game that they're playing to manipulate even members of the GOP who are, pro Ukraine and anti Russian, or the American people or something. So he doesn't look like he's such an asset, but it's not real. It's not real. So Putin will reveal dirt on the felon just out of perversity and sadism. He did that before, right? He did that at the just before uh, the felon, took office, right? He let out all that photos, compromising photo material on Melania. So why did he do that? I don't think. I think Putin's in control. I do not think the Donald is in control of anything where Russia's concerned. That's just what I get. Anybody else has opinions, let me know. Um, oh, this is going back. Is that Ghislaine's father? Um, Good question. And grain of salt here. Just ask my guides, but that doesn't mean it's not fact or fiction. It's just what I hear. There should be a word for that. What the information you get from your guides? There probably is. I just can't think of it. Um, the guides are saying he was unalive deliberately. Bing, option number one. Because he had gotten in the there was a conflict. He stepped on some toes. He angered the wrong people, and that's what happened. Yeah, that's what the guides say anyway. That he was unalived intentionally. Um, oh yeah, that's a good question too, Daniel. Is this the new normal in Michigan and other states dealing with forest fires in Canada? This is our second summer. Yeah, I know the smoke really has bothered me a great deal, and my allergies have been off the off the chain. So is this the new normal? Yes, I'm afraid it is, because of the climate change. Even just going up a small amount in terms of the temperature, getting a little hotter. Okay, but then there's another question there, like, is it going to be managed? Like, oh, you're welcome, artistic world, very much so. Did you suspect that too, about Maxwell being unalived intentionally? Um, we will find ways to heal this earth. That's what the guides say. Obviously, the people in power in this country, and that's the big conflict, right? The people who want no regulations, and they want to destroy the earth and make as much money as possible, and consequences be damned. And the people who care about the earth and future generations, who love this planet. And but my guys are saying the people who love the planet will win, hands down, even though the consequences are very severe right now. And I'm asking, will they get worse? I don't know if they'll get worse, but we will continue to see earthquakes, well, the tectonic shifting of the plates is, um, but more so than usual, um, because of the instability at the Earth's core, partially due to fracking and uh, there's consequences when bombs get dropped. Um, and partially, and there's going to be flooding. Yeah, we haven't even talked about. Hey, Jean, we haven't even uh, talked about like what happened in Texas at that camp. I don't think it happened, or maybe I can't remember whether we talked about it or not last Tuesday. But man, the fact that it was built on, like, they extended the camp. The owners of the camp extended the town, let them extend the camp into like a well-known flash floodplain is it's just that area is like so red, and really believe there should be no regulations and you should just build where you want to build, apparently. And even though there was a conversation about at least having early warning, because they had the Biden money from the Infrastructure Act to do that, they refused it. They didn't want to touch whatever Biden, those Marxist communist Democrats, whatever. Oh my God! So that's a problem. And then Christy Noam, apparently not like FEMA being broken down so much. I think that to like, is it even 2/3 of its capacity? Um, it 2/3 of the phone calls that went to FEMA didn't went to there was nobody there to answer them. She didn't respond for 72 hours. She is a piece of work. She is one piece of work. Um, so hey Debbie, um, will the USA weapons for Ukraine get diverted to Russia? Um, I get a mixed answer on that. There is a desire for that to happen, but in the end, they do go to Ukraine. There's some kind of shakeup in power here in this government, and a shakeup also in Putin's government too. I see both of them going down. Is Pootie alive? I will ask that. Hey, Janet, love and healing and white light to you too. We all need it. We all really need it. Um, the guys say yes, he is still alive, but that he doesn't have very long. So maybe his life force is very weak. Nope, they're saying it's not that. But on the appointed day, they always show me a huge explosion. Once I saw Pootie in three parts, not just exploding into two, but three. That was a weird vision. But she may be right. I was just asking my guide. So, but he doesn't have long. If he's still alive, he does not have long. Um, and they'll be dancing in the streets. Glory be. Um, hey, Debbie. Um, Lori, you're saying really? What to what? I'm not sure what you're. Are you asking me a question? Um, oh, Daniel, I'm answering a lot of your questions today, but they're great questions. The infrastructure in our country is getting old. Do your guides see any bad accidents happening? Yes. They say there are consequences. It's karma. Karma is really just a consequence. Unfortunately, um, especially the money given, like in Texas, in that area, money was given to fix the problem, and it was diverted, and that's been happening with a lot of the money that these red towns, especially, have gotten. And most of the accidents are going to be happening in red states. Um, I'm going to try to see like flooding, fires. Oh, that's interesting. They just showed me like sinkholes, areas that were not like where maybe there'd been mining or drilling, and they didn't follow regulations, and then like holes open up. That's going to be like possibly something that happens, like taking like a huge like houses down. Explosions because of faulty gas lines, power outages. Yeah. So the answer is yes, unfortunately. Um, oh, that, yeah, to the explosion and Putin. I keep on seeing it. Yeah, that's true. He is decaying in real time. He reminds me of oh, who is in Star Wars. Um, oh, well, I always forget names when I need them. The one who enslaved Carrie Fisher. Um, like a mound of pizza or something like that. What's his name? Oh, it almost came to me. Um, Never mind. You guys know who I'm talking about. Anybody who's watched Star Wars. Um, so Jabba the Hutt. Thank you. I heard it just sound, and then I couldn't think of the rest of it. Thank you, Jabba the Hutt. Yes, I think that'd be a good name for the felon, Jabba the Hutt. Oh my God. Hey, Hazel. Thank you so much. Love and light and blessings to you too. Um, Bonnie's like the portrait of Dorian. Are you saying that the orange one's like the portrait of Dorian Gray? I think Leon is like the portrait of Dorian Gray too. Um, Trump's feet look swollen. Like he's hiding Big Macs in his socks. He just looks terrible. It's hard to even describe his complexion. Sometimes it's orange, sometimes it's pasty white. His eyes are like lizard's eyes, just so cold. Um, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. 45 reminds me of the governor of Dune as he flies into the worm mouth. Um, I can ask a little bit about his health. I know that is it Denise, uh, the tarot reader, like every day she looks at his health, right? Um, oh, interesting, Les. Swollen feet seem like heart failure, retaining fluid. Yeah, and I always get that his heart is that he needs stents, or he's had stents. It's very bad circulation, um, and aneurysms potentially for him. God, we have to give it to the doctors who are keeping him alive. I'm not talking about Ronnie. Oh, what heart? What heart? That is a good question. Yes, what heart? Whatever that thing is that comes and his blood and keeps him alive. Um, let's see what else. What other like dish or tea I can spill for you. Um, so the orange one, he is a disaster. On 2 feet. Um, and he could have a complete like organ failure, like everything could just shut down. teabag eyes and orange complexion, real combo. um, his narcissism. Narcissists are really good, like just like living longer than they really it seems possible because they're just so inhuman. Linda, a chicken heart because of his chicken feet and bone spurs. Um, he's on a lot of medication, allegedly, according to my guides. He is he's in a lot of pain, and he needs a lot of downtime. He's very irritable when he has to fly to these different countries and do the president thing. He just wants to uh, play golf because he can be in his carriage, and he's not happy. He's not happy at all. I mean, maybe he's never been happy, but really, like I asked my guys that would it have been overall better or extended his life had he like had Leon not given him the election? I mean, he or if he like never became president, like why did he? Well, he was manipulated into it, I believe, by Putin, um, and the Federal Society. People, they thought he was pushed into the head of the line, right? That he would fulfill their worst desires for our country, and surely he's trying. Um, but he's so egotistical and narcissistic that that's the part of him that like I'm president, that gives pumps his narcissism up. Um, wow, was there something I was just going to comment on? Uh, oh, come back to me. So, oh, the trophy thing. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, the trophy thing where he stole that soccer tournament trophy and then he gave them they got a copy. They has a real one. Was that the World Cup? Um, what trophy was that? The World Cup trophy? I'm not, I don't really pay too much attention to that. But it's disgusting. Then he got booed. I know he got booed at the game. And I think he signed an executive order calling soccer football. Hi, maybe he runs on fracking fluid. Carl, I wish I were in a second playthrough of this world. Only this time we do have a female post, or we have female posts such as Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton. Me too. Oh my God. Oh God, I would love that so much. I wish it wouldn't just be an alternative reality, but our reality right now. Oh, FIFA. Okay. The FIFA World Cup. It's just so shameful. I hope one day we give them back that cup. It is just so sorry, a little fruit fly. Yeah, just egregious. Um, he will try to sell it. He just like a child. Like who would do such a thing? How embarrassing is that? Um, so Susie Wiles, can't she control him? Like what is her purpose? Um, so let's see if there's anything else about the orange one. He's just going to become angrier and more insecure and more he wants people to think he's like tough and um but he's really scared inside and he's nervous and he's always wanting to grift and um he's not sure about his own faculties. I think sorry that he's losing like his dad. I think he's worried that he has Alzheimer's. um and people are taking advantage of him behind his back. I think he's really worried about Stephen Miller, and that I'm not sure if Stephen Miller is going to last that long because Stephen Miller has stepped over the line, and it's like he gave the order, where initially ICE was raiding the restaurants and farms, and he pulled it back because apparently, allegedly, he got phone calls from those business people, and then and he announced it, but then they were called back on a day later, and those raids um, went through, and that was Miller and no, and I don't think Trump was happy about that. Yeah, Jean, looking at your comments here. Yeah, I agree. We'll have to clear the energy off it before we give it back. Yes, Jean, or make them a new one. Just kind of like, I don't know if that could well, I think it probably could be cleared, but we should offer to make them a new one if they would take that, and pay the expenses. So disgusting. Linda says he needs to be entombed in his shining Sparrow Palace airline. Dementia, just tell him. You already did that, fill in the blank. Like, good idea. Or we just finished the meeting with that world leader. Don't worry about it. We already did that. Don't you remember? um, Daniel, are any of the former presidents helping us on the other side? Gotta ask my guides about that. Yes, they say yes. They are. President Lincoln and all the all the important presidents, and um, there is huge energy there. Yes, so I have to say yes to that question, according to my guides. Um, so comments. Yeah, did I Alzheimer's makes him nastier and more childish? 100%. Is it getting through to the GOP that 79% of Americans think immigration is a good thing? Yes, it is. But the GOP, they're like in bondage. Eh, think about the Rider Waite version of the devil card. There's a devil and then there's a couple underneath and they're chained. The devil is dominating them. The chains are their, desires. They're um, being uh, chained to ambition and to um, greed and to the lower appetite, and they don't want to give it up. And the chain is used to control, manipulate them. So that's the GOP under the devil, under the orange one. And then you can make a kind of pyramid, but then you can superimpose like a larger devil card, and the orange one, and Vance and whatever would be in that card. And so yeah, but that's the relationship they have. And they do get death threats, and their families get death threats. So they're really like, it is the mafia. It's a scary place to be a senator or a congressperson for GOP. If you don't pull the party line, then you're gonna risk everything. They're not playing around. Yes, Putin owns the GOP. Yep, he does. Lock, stock, and barrel. Keep hitting send too soon. It's good to know they're helping from the other side. Sorry. Um, okay, I always wondered what Reagan thinks now. That's a good question. Somebody asked about Nixon too, if Nixon was helping. Well, Nixon, there's nothing redeemable about Nixon. He resigned because at that time they didn't have MAGA, and there was still somewhat independent media, or fair media, and there was just no appetite for it. He didn't want to resign, but he was convinced to resign. But that was a long time ago. Things have changed. So no, I wouldn't say Nixon is helping. Nixon is he did cross to the light, the guides tell me, but there's a lot of he's in a place where there's a lot of learning to do. He did cross over though in the end. Um, but Reagan, okay, Reagan is still also not in the greatest shape over there. They're telling me he did cross into the light, but he's got a ways to go in terms of like some souls, that they go through their processing and transformation, and then they're right back. They're to try and help it, like Elijah Cummings, people like that would just zip zip. They're really still involved in trying to help the human affairs. But Reagan, I don't get that he is right now. I feel like maybe he has a lot of lessons to learn. Um, he's in time over there, even though it seems like a long time since Reagan passed, it's different over there. Time, it's not necessarily, I mean, it is linked to our time in terms of when people die and cross over, and then they come back, or reincarnate. All that has to be connected, to our timing. But in terms of how time is experienced there, I get the sense that it's extremely different. And what seems like years to us would just be like a second over there. What seems like a second to us seems like years over there. It's just different. Um, Reagan was delusional, especially with the recession mess. Yeah, he definitely was uh, someone who the far right were very like focused on getting in there. Like I think that like Bush too was this similar, and was then like he represented a lot of people that wanted to privatize this country and kind of damage our democracy. And those people are um, their ideas or whatever some are still active. Um, what is JD Vance thinking about this? Is he just waiting for the fall? Well, I think so. I had this conversation with my guides earlier today, which was they said that JD Vance that Putin would prefer JD Vance in power, and he's getting anxious for the orange one to lose power, to either get sick because of his age, or even get impeached. He wouldn't mind that because JD Vance and the is far more aligned with Putin in terms intellectually and in terms of his policies. And when I say JD Vance, who am I really talking about here? I'm talking about Peter Thiel, and Vogt and those guys. Those guys are more like the oligarchs that Putin is used to. And I think that he wants Vance in. And I think he wants the orange one out. That's what I get a sense of. I know, but they're all one. They're all there for that purpose. Whatever's happening, they're not, one is not independent of the other. Um, so, okay, what are you saying here? In 1980, the average CEO of an average corporation made about 40 times the salary of the average employee in the company. Wow, today it's 400 times the salary thanks to Reagan. Yep. Thank you, Reagan. Uh, And this is just a continuation on steroids, right? Of whatever Nixon and then Reagan wanted to bring in, with I think probably equal amount of corruption. Um, Carl saying, I think both are doing damage to this country. When this regime has finally fallen, can we really take 100 years to undo Trump's damage? We will. I feel like when this regime ends, there's going to be such an appetite to really heal this country. It's not going to take 100 years because it's going to be full on, and we won't have the same. We always forget about the states like Tennessee and um, Alabama that are really part of the damage, and that's going to change. I think the guys are saying the political makeup of their governments are going to change. That will really, really help heal this country too. Um, Hope, but that's what I hear. Um, Kay is saying it's true that we're all here right now to experience what's happening. Our souls chose to be here, and I often wonder why. It's so frustrating. I get the same information from my guides, Kay. We chose to be here. We chose to be here because we knew we could help. It it wasn't um, because we thought, oh, we in this lifetime we can achieve our happiness and this and that. I mean, that we still have. Oh, my guides wanted to tell you too that we need to stick to our purpose. We need to stay on our path no matter what's happening because they know it's very upsetting what's going on right now, but not to get sucked into it, and to make sure we heal ourselves, make sure we stay on course with our own lives individually. That's what they said. So I think that's within that statement you made, Kay. Nobody said it was going to be easy. I wish it was easier, but we came to, because we could. We had the strength, we had the wisdom and the knowledge, or we were going to acquire it. And I think more than anything, the intent, the desire to serve, because we saw what could happen, and there was a place for us to help, set us on a better course. So it's nuts, it's crazy, what Kay said is believed true. We chose to be here for this time. And you're saying, Kay, you and your guides are right. Our souls also evolved by experiencing all this. Oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, what would you rather want, like at the end of our lives when we ascend to the other side and look back and go, well, what did I do the best I could? I think I would want to be, um, I'd want my conscience to be clear and work towards, know that I work towards trying to do the best I could as a mere human, because we're all imperfect, and we all have our vulnerabilities and stuff, but to stay on course, to and to continue to love and to be compassionate, and to help and to be kind and all these things that can be difficult at this time. I think that's what I would want. We're all glutton for punishments. I don't know. It's that we want to be punished. We just know that, like, the human beings are in such a state, and this is how it is, and it's not going to be easy, but it's worth the fight. And I've always taken my inspiration from books like The Lord of the Rings, and even Star Wars. Like these mythic epic stories of battles between good and evil. And Lord of the Rings, especially because even in the midst of hardship, there's a realization of, like that the fight is important. It's important to however overwhelming the enemy looks and the challenges seem, you still got to get get up and get out with Sting or whatever, and do the best you can, even though you're a little hobbit. I love those books. Daniel, you off? Oh, thank you. I didn't realize you'd said that when I put your comment up. Yeah, and I will segue off that and say I'm still available for personal readings. And if you want to get in touch with me, I'm going to put my information in the description box below when I edit this, or post it on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, get me in the algorithm. I love you guys. Hang tight, and take care of yourselves. Please take care of yourselves. Love you. It's 4 o'clock. I guess I got to end the live stream. Let's look at some more comments before I go. Oh, thank you, Les. Um, oh, oh, wait a minute. Oh, thank you. I'm, are, are we destined to have this for 3 more years? Sorry, that was the, thank you, Les, for the compliment. Yours was a comment I meant to click on, but it's good. It's good to have people give me good feedback. Thank you. Um, no, the guides say no. This will end, and they say it's going to end. And I'm not great with timing, but by next year, things are going to look a lot different and a lot better. So that's what they say. I hope that's true. What from um, uh, my lips or your lips to God's ear. Okay. Oh, thank you, Ivy. Thank you so much. You guys, thank you so much for showing up. I love you. I will be back next week. Bye bye.